Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passed, minutes approved. And before we open the meeting to the public, you will stand up and give us your name, your reason for addressing the board, and please limit your comment to 3 minutes or less. At this time, I will ask for a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Make a motion to open the meeting to the public.
A motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook, we need a second.
I'll second.
Second by trustee Cap, if I take the roll, please.
Trustee Cap?
Yes.
Trustee Bonner? Yes. Trustee Greer?
Yes.
Trustee Richardson?
Yes.
Trustee Claybrook?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passed. The meeting is now open to the public, we'll start on this side.
Just like the, board, please don't respond to any of my statements until I'm done talking, because the 3 minutes kind of flies by for us.
Can you state your
Okay.
name, please?
I'm John Heidick, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, I told you at the town hall over in Burnham School that I'd love to see you succeed, because if you do good, we do good. I still stand by that tonight. And having said that, Mayor, board, I'd like you guys to put yourselves in my shoes and everybody here. We don't sit up there with you guys. This is concerning the water bill, my water bill in particular. In chronological order now, February 28th was the end of my quarter. I took a picture of my water bill, February 28th. I actually got into the village hall and I talked to Luce on March 6th. That's 5 weeks ago tonight. March 6th, I gave you my water meter reading, okay? 3 days later, I expected to get the water bill next from the village. I got one of these things from the water department, okay? Why I got it, I don't know. So that was 5 weeks ago. 1 week ago, I went back into the village hall, and I happened to run into Stephanie. She's by herself, so I try to respect her time. And I asked her, I told her the story. I says, I dropped off the meter reading with you. I said, what happened with that? She said, I don't know. Luce is in a meeting. I said, okay, can I have, she wrote down a note saying that I wanted that. That's what I was there for. And also I asked for a copy of the water bill, and the water ordinance and the sewer tax ordinance. She says, well, I'm kind of busy now. I said, that's fine, I'll come back tomorrow. I came back the next day. You handed me a manila envelope with the 2 ordinances. I'm still waiting for a water bill. Now, you can respond later after I'm done talking. Now, John, trustee Cap, I should say, I was watching last week's meeting. I wasn't here, I wasn't feeling too well. And I watched it the next morning, you and Pat Olson going back and forth about water. She's comparing water rates with the different cities and all. And she brought up a 62-cent sewer tax charge that Cal City charges. I wouldn't even be bringing this up, but you came out and said, I know for a matter of fact Cal City charges $1 for sewer tax. You're still shaking your head now?
That's what they told us.
Well, I called, I like to ask questions. I called Cal City Water Department the next morning, and I asked them, and they says, no, it's 62 cents. And I said, well, a trustee said $1. She said, well, a trustee lied to you. So having said that, you could downplay it, but it's just a number of things that brings you in here. That's why I tried to stay away from here. This brings you back.
Well,
Now,
that's the information we got.
well, can you
I
please respond after 3
that.
minutes? You can, I'm sorry, John. Now, let's see. Mayor Polk, you suggested at the last meeting on YouTube there that concerning the senior discount, you suggested that if you took the senior discount away, you'd have no way of how do you replenish that? Well, can I suggest to you, right now the senior discount is 50% of $42.50 every quarter. That's $21.25 a quarter, okay? Well, you guys have jacked up the water rates so darn high at $8.50 per month right now. If you bring back the 50% discount, you know that Chicago's only charging us $3.85 per 1,000 gallons, okay? If you bring back the senior discount, 50% of the $8.50 is $4.25, which is still more than paying their fair share. I'm not a senior, but it's still more than paying their fair share for the $3.85 that Chicago's charging us. That's why I would like to suggest next year's election. I understand Trustee Greer, Richardson, and Ms. Garcia, who's not here tonight. You 3 are back up for election. But I'd like to strongly suggest tonight that you get.
3 minutes up.
Can I finish?
Please hurry.
I'd like to suggest you 2 that you are here. The seniors could really use you. They're going to be miserable when they got their limited income. You're going to skyrocket their water rates, and trust me, in a year from now, like I say, I'm not a senior, but a year from now, anything you guys vote on tonight will be remembered next election by everybody in this village. I'm talking about the seniors and trying to keep them away from stress. Thank you for your time.
Well, who would you like to try to answer, the first part first, and then I follow up?
So regarding the water bill, we weren't on that street yet for billing.
Luce, I gave you my reading.
I know, but we go through the street. So you're on Green Bay and she hadn't finished billing for Green Bay. So that's why your bill wasn't generated.
That doesn't, I gave you my reading. I expected a bill from you. Wouldn't you expect a bill from the village? I'm making it easy. I did your guys' job for you. I'm trying to get along. I did everything but come in and go and print myself out a bill, take my check, put the check inside your register, and give myself a receipt. This is before you guys start this whole system.
Okay, well, let me say this, and then we're gonna move
Sure.
on. Again, I think that we have explained the process as thoroughly, as we can. Obviously, some people disagree with it. We do not think that it's gonna be devastating. Once the meters are in, and the people can register their water, you'll be able to see exactly what you're using. It'll be accurate, it'll be up to date. And if you spring a leak or something, that would be detectable. And I'm gonna say for the record, until the Lord calls me home or call you home, I will not address this again at another meeting.
Mayor, what do I do right now with my water bill? I don't have one.
I will not.
I've read the ordinance. What do I do right now?
You just wait for your bill, Mr. Haddock. It goes in a process. She's on that street to get billed.
Okay, I'm not saying this to argue. According to your new ordinance, it's all up to responsibility of the homeowner to make sure they pay their bill. If they don't pay it within 10, 15 days, they're gonna be assessed 10% penalty. There's absolutely no response. It says it in your, that's why I'm asking you.
When the bill comes out late, the village does not charge late fees, especially if it's on our.
That would-
part.
That's the way the ordinance is written. That's what I'm concerned about.
Once it's billed, it's 10 days from the day it's billed. So if I were to bill the bill today, you have 10 days.
It says we're responsible for paying it
Mr.
within
Haddock, I'm
15
telling-
days.
I'm trying to
You'll get the bill.
explain.
You'll get the bill.
There is no.
I thought that a month ago.
Okay, you'll get the bill for sure. Is anyone else?
Yeah. Ed Brock. I live on Green Bay, right next door to John. And his complaint is why I'm here tonight, because I did the same thing. I read my bill on March 5th. I called it in March 5th. I did not get a bill, and I called April. I waited 1 month to get a bill for my water. You've talked here about, before you had the idea that you were gonna try to bill us monthly. I understand that's kaput now, but you could not possibly bill monthly. You can't even bill when it's quarterly,
We've
and you
already
have to
explained
call
that.
in.
We've already explained that.
No, you didn't
Wait a
explain
minute.
that. Pardon me, my 3
we've
minutes are
admitted-
not up yet, Mr. Polk. And let me tell you something else, that seems to be a shame when you have office workers there that can't, when you call in, I go dig in my alley, I have to pop the plate because nobody's reading the meters. I don't mind doing that because they weren't reading them before. And now I even call it in, I wait 1 month, still no bill, I call in, then they generated a bill. Now, I did get my bill 2 or 3 days after I called in, but I don't think it's necessary for the residents to have to read the meter, call it in, then wait, then call in to get a bill. I think that something should be done in that area. Thank you very much.
But like I said again, like we've said before, our system is an antiquated system. It is not up to par. Like, we're trying to improve it. Like, we apologize, it's old, it's not up to snuff. And we're working on that, and we're trying to improve that. And we have promised you that we will do that, and we got our word on it.
It's not the system, it's the people.
It's the people.
Like,
The
just
system has
wanna give
nothing to
us
do with it.
Okay?
I'm talking to her. I was talking to her in the office. That's what boggles my mind.
Okay, we'll take care of that. I will take care of that, okay? We'll take care of that.
God
Any
bless
other
you.
comments?
God bless you. Yeah.
Or any other comments? I'll ask for a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Boy, that was quick.
I said I'll end the comments. Yes?
My name is Jeanette Lipinski. I also live on Green Bay Avenue, and I have to agree with both of these gentlemen here. They already brought it up to the detail, so I don't have to repeat myself. But my issue tonight is about a month ago, I stood before you and everyone here, and I told you that my FOIA requests were incomplete. I have not heard back from the office at all. And the records are incomplete. Attorney Stanley did not bring my mother's box of medical records that I requested. And Police Chief now Nick Namakis, when they were in federal court, did not bring that box of my mother's medical records because it was too heavy for them. So I'm here tonight to pick up that box of my mother's medical records that I FOIA'd. And I FOIA'd these records 3 years ago. It should not take 3 years to get my FOIA records for me and my mom. I had to go in federal court to get a subpoena to get my records, and they still are not complete on the clerk side and on the police side. I have police documents here where the purpose of a FOIA request is to get information. But you can't get information when the names are blacked out or whited out. And I have the proof in my hand right here to show you, Mayor, if you'd like to see them afterwards. They should not be whited out, names, addresses, phone numbers. And also, before Chief Bellows would not let me have my documents 2 years ago, I had some original police documents. They are different. They are altered than the ones that I have been given by you, by Stanley, Attorney Stanley, in the police department. That is against the law. And so that is my point today. I want my mother's medical records tonight.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'll let maybe the attorney might wanna make a statement or something. I know for sure that the village clerk office doesn't have anything to do with your records of your mother.
He knows where they're at.
And I'm not even really sure where they are, where they might be. Are they in Cook County? Are they in the federal court? I do not know. Maybe you could give reference to that.
I have court tomorrow, excuse me, I have court tomorrow. I stood before the judge last Wednesday about these FOIA requests. And the defense attorney said that he was going to contact Attorney Stanley here for those medical records. If I do not have these documents, I'm not a mean person, but it is against the law to wait 3 years for your FOIA request and to get a subpoena to do this. And you are supposed to be fined $100 a day until these documents are produced. I just want to remind you of that.
Okay, time is up. Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
There's pending litigation where Mrs. Lipinski is alleging 2 officers.
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. I have hearing loss. Can you speak up, please?
There's pending litigation with Mrs. Lipinski in this village where she's accused 2 officers of murdering her mother.
Excuse me, but that's not true.
In addition to that, I will speak now, ma'am. You had your chance. Give me mine.
I'm not talking about that.
I was quiet.
I'm talking about the FOIA request.
And Judge Cox, 2 months ago, in court, denied your request.
No, she did not.
Denied it.
She did
I
not.
stood there and tendered to you, on the record, every document you requested in the last 5 years.
No.
You can say that. Everybody in that courtroom will say otherwise. I know you
No.
have a problem. I wish
Were
I
you
could bring your mother
contacted?
back,
Because you were
but I
supposed to be
can't.
contacted, and I was supposed to hear the answer tomorrow in
We're
court.
not gonna talk about it anymore, Your Honor. It's litigation.
You're not answering my questions.
And again, we're gonna move on, and just for the record again,
Ms. Lipinski, you dropped some,
Oh, thank you.
anytime that there's litigation or it's an imminent litigation, then there should not be any public comments made by the, certainly from this board and from this body.
But 3 years,
think we made that
3
very
years,
clear.
it was not in the court.
Okay, I think we
And
made.
I did not get my records.
Okay, we made that very clear, so that's the position. Are there any other public comments? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ramzi Fakouri. I'm the owner of those 3 plazas down the street. I've been here since 1985, struggling with these plazas. I'm sure everybody knows the neighborhood. It's been tough for me, tough financially. I've been paying almost $330,000 a year in taxes. I met with the mayor to demolish the 3 buildings because they're not worth it for me. I've been losing a lot of money here. And he refused. So now I'm trying to apply for a license. The license, depends in 3 components. There's gonna be wine and beer. There's gonna be food, which is gonna be mostly cold cut. We have samples of the food. We have brochures. It's gonna be very healthy that the city never seen this kind of food. And also it's gonna be gaming. Definitely we checked, there's 3 licenses for gaming. And we all know some people, they're gonna have a problem. Definitely, I never gambled a day in my life. The casino, I've been in Vegas many times, I never played with $1. We all know if you're gonna gamble, you're gonna gamble anyways. People, they go from here all the way to Indiana to gamble, they go to the next suburbs to gamble, they could gamble anywhere. Even they could gamble with their friends. And if you're not a gambler, you're not gonna gamble anyways. Could be next door, because I'm sure some people can have an issue with it. I don't see any issue, because the gambler is always gonna be a gambler, and if you're not a gambler, you're not gonna gamble anyways. I never gambled a day in my life. So, Mr. Mayor, I would like to apply for a license, for a liquor license, which is gonna be only beer and wine. Also with food, a sit down. We brought, I did some presentation with the mayor earlier, he's seen the food. We brought samples of the food here, but I would like to, I'm asking for everybody's help, because I've been struggling. I've been paying the school, I brought the taxes, I showed the mayor. I'm paying $250,000 a year for the school district over here, that my kids didn't go there, helping this community. So I need this community to come and to help me once and for all. It's been 22 years. I've been suffering and I've been helping and I've been paying taxes. Calculate 22 years times $330,000 a year in taxes I'm paying. The mayor's seen the tax bills. So I hope Mr. Mayor and the trustee will give me the chance to open my business over here, because I need it. Hopefully, and also the city will gain some money out of it too, because also the city needs some money. And if you look at most of the cities around us, they all have 10, 15, 22 gaming licenses, because the city makes a lot of money out of it too. So there's only 3 licenses, and those 3 licenses never been an issue or give any problems to this community. So I love the community to give me support, so is the city. Thank you very much.
Okay,
I have my nephews gonna come in, speak also for 3 minutes to give what kind of food we're gonna be serving.
Does the trustees have any
I do, you said you're selling beer and wine, would that be just inside the restaurant? or
Yeah,
packaged?
it's gonna be sit-down restaurant.
Nothing to go and all of that?
No. Because most of the people, when they eat, would like to have a beer or have a glass of wine. So there's no hard liquor, and we don't have no carry-outs, 0 carry-outs. But we all eat, and sometimes we love to have glass of wine or a bottle of beer without food. Nothing's gonna be heavy. And this is the first time I ever stood over here asking for help. So I need everybody's help. I need your support. I thank you very much again.
Is there coffee?
Yes, there's coffee, and there's water, and there's juices, fresh juices.
I actually have some information regarding the concept, if I may approach the bench to hand you guys some literature on the concept and what we do.
any trustees have any comment?
Where's this going to be located? Where's the location?
Next
22.
top.
2216 in my plaza, because I own the plaza.
So the concept is, it's called Lucky Birdie's. It's an upscale deli. All of our meats are boarhead meats. Everything's prepared fresh daily. We also serve different soups, salads, things of that nature, but we also have a catering menu. So if there's an event in the village or an event at the school, we would like to help support the community, provide catered sandwiches. It's not like a Subway or anything like that. It's definitely a little bit more upscale. We're hoping with the 2 other components that coincide with our concept, it'll just be able to help us survive and make sure that we can pay our bills, make sure we pay our employees their salaries, and also support the rent. There has been issues with tenants coming and going or requesting lower rents in the plaza, and my uncle's been a member of this community for a long time. He's got a lot invested in this community. We're looking to further invest in the property and in the community, but with the beer and wine license and the gaming component, we're hoping that will ensure survival and ensure us, years of continued service. So it's definitely a restaurant-focused concept, We've got over 40 to 50 different things on the menu with regard to the sandwiches and the hot dogs and the soups and things of that nature. So if you take a look at some of the pictures that we have inside, you can see what the concept looks like, what our restaurant is going to feature, and get a feel for the exact space of what Lucky Bernie's is. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to
Is this
answer
only
them.
Lucky Bernie's, or is it?
No, there's other locations. There's some in Huntley, there's some in Woodstock, Illinois. There's about 10 other locations that you can look up online to kind of see more of what we do. We also do different things throughout the week where people can come in and do trivia, or there's a guitarist playing music. Just some activities where people can come in and be engaged, as opposed to just a restaurant.
One thing.
So typically we open up about 9:30 in the morning. That gives our staff enough time to get in there and start prepping for the lunch. But we definitely serve lunch and dinner 7 days a week. So typically our hours are like from 9 a.m. until however latest the village will allow us to stay open with the liquor license for the beer and wine. And it doesn't entail any type of packaged goods license, so nobody would be purchasing alcohol and leaving the premises or anything like that.
One thing, you don't have adequate parking there.
Well, the parking, the strip mall has parking on both sides.
Well, I know,
So-
but sometimes it's crowded now, so you would kind of like be, taking up the other businesses spots, especially if they go.
Well, the space is 1,200 square feet. We're not talking about a 10,000 square foot restaurant that's gonna require 50 parking spots. With the in and out traffic and our business.
If it was where the phone store was going, if it was going there, then you'd have more parking. You got parking on the south, you got parking on the east side as well, and also in the front.
Well, I think between all three strip malls, there's adequate parking there. And for me, Mayor, just thinking about people going into a Subway or how long they're actually in there for and things of that nature, it's not a business that's going to require that much parking. It's for people for anybody being in there more than 15 or 20 people at a time. I can't imagine that our occupancy is not going to be 100 or 200 people. It's a 1,100 or 1,200 square foot restaurant. And there is parking on the actual strip mall, so on both sides, in front of the store and on the street closest to State Street.
So that's maybe like residential on that side. Okay. Any other comment from the trustees? Are there other comments from the trustees? You got a question,
Mr. Ramsey?
Yeah, just like that, one more thing. Most of our locations, we have almost averaging of 15 employees working. And definitely we're gonna generate some jobs to people in this community too. And this is gonna be clean cut, and I'm sure everybody's gonna be very happy, very pleased. You guys seen the brochures, and we're gonna be spending quite a bit of money inside the place.
Whatever kind of resolve we come up with at that location, one thing that has to be done, that will not be approved until that is resolved.
Which is?
Is a meter.
I'm sorry?
I see a meter.
Done.
Huh?
I'll do it yesterday. It will be done, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, yeah,
I promise you that.
I'm gonna make sure.
I'll work on it right away.
My concern is
Yes.
the problems that we've had in the past with liquor, with late openings. For instance, the sports bar was open for 8 years. It was the biggest, I worked for the police department for 8 years, and we did not have the manpower to adequately service that location. And I think as a landlord, as a business owner, when you have tenants, residential, commercial, that you have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the laws are kept, and then ensure safety and ensure peace for the community. Now, same thing with, we have a couple of stores that have 24-hour licenses now. We've been getting complaints. People complain to me. People call me, and they complain to me about these places, with people hanging out. And I'm not gonna tell what other types of issues come along with that. So there are concerns, and I'm sure as a businessman that you have a plan to address these concerns if your proposal is considered for this type of business. But I do have concerns because of the past with one, the late hours, and two, the liquor.
Do you mind if I answer you that?
Yes, sir, please.
First of all, it's not gonna be hard liquor, it's gonna be mostly food, and I promise it's gonna be only wine and beer. So nothing's gonna be heavy, there's no shots, there's no drinking, there's no gonna be a disco. That place was closed, yes, it was a bar. And there's this neighborhood, also there's a lot of issues, there's a lot of drug issues, there's a lot of shooting issues, there's a lot of alcoholic issues, there's all kind of issues. I can't be the police for everybody. We all know the neighborhood, we know the shooting been going on, we know the drugs been going on.
We have issues,
the
we don't have a
alcoholism.
lot of them.
Exactly, so don't blame, everything's gonna be from my place. It's gonna be just one issue, but there's a lot of other issues we should be also concerned.
But to also address that, we do plan on having security on site, which will help alleviate some of the issues with, police having to respond or anything like that. With this shopping center in general, with, people on the property, as well as monitoring things that are going on in the restaurant and things like that. So we will have a plan in place, to answer your question, to help address any of these security concerns and issues that you may have.
We will have security. It's
I
gonna
mean,
be,
I know that we are part in taking some of the responsibility for allowing this business to continue for 8 years with all of its problems. But we all hold a responsibility to make sure that we have responsible businesses that are coming to the community.
Ma'am,
It's not gonna disrupt.
I've been struggling myself just like you, like everybody else. It's never been easy for me. That guy never paid me rent on time, the mayor knows about it, it was just pain to me. I suffered more than anybody else.
I understand.
Okay, I wasn't happy. I was very happy when he's gone, and also we have a daycare coming in to replace that place. There's a new daycare center over there now.
What type of clientele would you like to have coming into your establishment?
Everybody from the community. This isn't just a gaming component. We really want everybody to come in and try the food.
But they have to be over 21.
And join us for lunch, or come in and have sandwiches after dinner and things of that nature. So we're not targeting a specific market within the community. It's a restaurant. We're there. That's our primary business. It accounts for 60 to 70% of our revenues, and we're here to serve sandwiches and soups and different types of salads and things like that. I think by looking at some of the concepts and the foods and the catering platters and stuff, you'll see it's a little bit more of a healthier option than your traditional, greasy restaurants in the area. So,
What about the deep hole in the parking lot?
That would be fixed. Yeah.
Be nice to blacktop it.
Any issue, I will take care of it, I promise.
It looked like the sewer needs to be raised on it.
We had the issue that I just fixed the building, it cost me $25,000 just to fix. What I just did the other
8,900,
day.
wasn't it?
I'm sorry?
It was 8,900.
No. Ended up costing me more because now
You
I'm
also
putting
go
new
money on
meters
the
there.
permit then.
You guys want a nice restaurant like that, you want it to look nice. you want people
Absolutely.
to come to it.
Those places gonna cost me almost, it's gonna cost me some money. They see, and these are franchise, so they all have to look the same.
Yes, Ms. Ross.
Oh, we can ask a question.
Yes.
Do you plan to hire any residents in the neighborhood?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
We're averaging 15,
Oh.
most of our locations, because of the hours and 7 days a week.
Yes.
This is a good question, because I was looking, I didn't pull you up, and it does look like a really nice restaurant
Yes,
there.
it is state of the art.
Yes. I'm looking at some of like the entertainment that you have there as well, but some of the entertainment that I've seen going on in Munderline and the other restaurants.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we have comedians that come in. We do trivia nights. There's different activities throughout the week that we promote for people to come in and enjoy.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture at the Lucky Bernie's in Fox Lake, and it looks like it has a full bar.
I'm sorry?
Looks like it has a full bar.
And some of the other locations have an actual bar area, which is next to the deli component of it, but it's mostly beer and wine. If you look at the menu, it's right in front of you on that brochure that I handed you. That's the extent of what we'll be serving. Some of the locations do have hard alcohol, vodkas, whiskeys, things like that. We're not looking to implement that in this location.
I don't
With me being being the liquor commission, they'll have to limit the liquor to what I was.
Exactly. I mean, just give me a license beyond wine, that's all I need.
That'll work.
I'm fine. Do I get your blessing, everybody?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like a fun place
Yeah,
to
make
be
it
at.
look nice.
Mr. Mayor, I get the blessing of the community.
Make sure we have red wine.
If there are no other questions, we're gonna ask for a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So right, you always do.
We need a motion to close the meeting
I
to the
make a
public.
motion to close the meeting to the public.
There's a motion on the floor by trustee Claybrook to close the meeting to the public. Need a second? A second. By trustee Richardson, for the clerk of the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Trustee Bonner?
Good night.
Yes.
Hope to see you again. Yes. Make sure you have red wine.
Thank you, motion passed. Meeting is now closed to the public. I just want to give a update. Well, I just want to mention Burnham, the Burnham Gap, and I gave trustee Burnham.
Can't hear you.
Want to touch base on that. They had a hearing yesterday.
For a status hearing yesterday for the railroad, it says that the railroads responded to subpoenas for the railroad's expert witnesses, and the parties have re-engaged in the discussions regarding a bridge at the north end of the Burnham Gap, Burnham and Brainerd. And the village's project managers pursuing those talks, including obtaining grants to pay for phase 1. So it's continued until July 12th, so basically they're still in talks.
And it's been going on for a while.
Yes.
Thank you, trustee Bowman. The electronic waste in honor of Earth Day, trustee Claybrook, your attention there.
Yeah, Earth Day, we'll be observing it, April 20th? Is that right?
Dwayne, did you?
It'll probably either the 20th or before the 20th.
Okay. And right now, we've collected television sets, up to 50 television sets, and they're behind the Public Works building. So if anyone knows anyone's that have any the older big box TVs that they need to get rid of, you can bring them to behind the Public Works building. And they'll be supplying pallets. They'll be supplying pallets, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, they can put it out in the alley, you know, behind their house too, and we'll pick them up.
Okay.
And take them
Okay.
home.
And then the Public Works Department was doing general cleanup this month, and that's all I have on my report.
Thank you, and we, again, we do not have a plan to move electronic waste in the village of Burnham, so we're doing this in honor of Earth Day. Sometimes people call up and say, somebody put 2 TVs behind my house, behind my garage. Well, they probably gonna have to stay out there for a while because, it would cost us $25 or $35 a piece to remove them. I mean, we don't know who put them there. Did the people put them